Absolutely. Absolutely. She only has like 100.
Oh, wait.
All my friends and family is white,
I'm glad to see that everybody found a seat. And my apologies to the people behind me, but you got the best seat in the house. That's where the open bar is back there, so sorry guys. Okay, so we're going to start our program with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the National Anthem. So if you can, please rise. Gentlemen, remove your caps. Except for Curtis, of course. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You kindly remain standing for our national anthem. Can you see my lungs like what's so proudly at the twilight's last gleaming, bruised by stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the Thank you very much. Thank you. I speak to you tonight, including the founder of the Guardian Angels. You can hear him every day on 77 WABC. And running for mayor of New York City once again next year, Curtis Sliwa is here with us tonight. But before we hear from Curtis, we'd like you to turn your attention to our projector screen for a short video from former gubernatorial candidate Lee Zeldin.
This is Lee Zeldin, here we got your next state senator, and right now, while you're watching this, I'm in Pennsylvania with our next president, Donald Trump. We wanted to record this message in advance. I want to thank all of you for supporting an amazing candidate who will be a fantastic state senator. If you're upset about cashless bail, well, politicians like Civic, who was in the state senate when I was in the state senate, she probably would never leave if the voters don't speak up. Criminal laws getting passed up in Albany, the border crisis that plagues now our city, the policies of sanctuary city and sanctuary state that are only there because of people like Civic and the far left Democrats. So this is our moment I had a chance to first start working with Yiatin during my race for governor, and we were making sure that we were creating quality of education in schools. And I heard from her firsthand how important it was that we don't get rid of merit-based entry into specialty schools, that we don't get rid of I would think a better candidate for mentorship and for advice. I'm confident that the district and the state will be stronger. Quality of education, safer streets, it's all on the line. Let's make the right choice.
Thank you, Lee, for that great endorsement. I'm running because New York is not going in the right direction. I'm a public school mom. I've lived in New York since 1976. I care a lot about the community and this district needs. I want to represent you authentically, so please help elect me into office to represent you.
All right.
As soon as early voting begins, in-person early voting really everyone are alive. Don't get sit on the sidelines. Too much is at stake. Let's elect a new state senator. Let's send Yiatin Chu to Albany to fight for us, to represent us. Our state will be better, our city will be better, our country will be better with people like her getting in office.
Thank you, Lee Zeldin. Believe it or not, folks, Yiatin Chu is taller than Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin was standing on a milk crate in that video. So the more you know. Right? Coming up next, you know him, you love him, I know I do. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for New York State Senator Jack Martin.
All for coming out and supporting our great candidate, Yiatin Chu, who's going to be our next state senator from the 11th Senate District, representing you in Albany. My name is Jack Martins. I'm the state senator representing the district immediately to the east of here, the 7th Senate District in northern Nassau County, from the Suffolk line all the way west to the Cross Island Parkway. It's my privilege to be with you today. And folks, if I need to tell you why you need to vote for Yiatin, you wouldn't be here. So I'm not going to tell you why. I'm just going to tell you that you need to go out there between now and November 5th and do your part to make sure we have a senator that we can be proud of, a senator that the community can rely on, and a senator that's going to be our voice in Albany when the time comes where we know we're going to need somebody in Albany who's going to fight for our children, who's going to fight for parental rights, who's going to make sure that no one is discriminated against because of their background, understands what it's like to grow up in a community and to actually expect excellence and merit in order to get ahead. I am tired of the policies that we get from Albany. I am tired of hearing that we can't do certain things or that we have to meet quotas and we have to check boxes. Enough with checking boxes. Let's go out there and make sure that those people who work hard, who succeed, and who commit themselves to excellence are actually recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make sure that Yiatin gets elected on November 5th. God bless you. We're with you. We're with you. And remember, Yiatin Chu will represent you. God bless.
All right.
Thank you, Senator Jack Martins. All right. Very good. So far, so good?
Yeah.
All right. Coming up next, representing District 49, I'd like to introduce to you our friend, Assemblyman Lester Chang.
I'm Assemblyman Lester Chang representing Brooklyn, Fatido, in Sunset Park. Okay, it's lonely by myself. As you know, I'm the only Chinese Republican in the whole state of New York. Believe it or not, the whole state for all these decades. Directly, indirectly, I'm sorry, but I'm responsible for Yiatin to be here. She made the choice. She once worked in my office, and indirectly, I'm responsible for this. But I hope it's a great journey. But this journey fraught with a lot of nonsense out there. That's why she's here. As you can see, our community are constantly being ignored, constantly being attacked, constantly being harassed. We have family values that we cherish and being attacked by other communities who are against our family values, such as education, meritocracy instead of just lottery, cashless bail. As you know, many of us are business owners. Catch and release program on these perpetrators. And I believe that Yiatin, in her heart, that she sees that something is not going right in our city. She's been here for about 30 years, almost 40 years, longer than that. Yeah, 76, a lot. Well, almost 50 years. Wow. I'm born 61, so that tells you. But the most important thing is the community that she will represent have changed. The person Stravinsky does not know our community well, ignore our community. She follows the money where the big monies are. She doesn't care about our core value. That's why I'm so proud of Yiatin to stand up Grandma Stravinsky. Time to move to the next generation, to represent our family. And I hope that she will retire gracefully, Stravinsky, to move in our next senator in Queens, Yiatin Chu. Thank you.
All right, moment. Moment.
Yeah. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for Assemblyman Lester Chang. One more time, Lester, great job. I just need to correct Lester on one thing, and I know that Curtis will agree with me. Lester is not the only Chinese-American Republican in Albany. You know why? Because every one of us on the Republican side has a little piece of Chinese-American in them as well. God bless.
I do from my dinner last night. We're looking for Chloe's son. Is Chloe's son here?
She's not here yet. Yeah.
She's not here yet. All right. We'll get to her. I promise. All right. Kenneth. All right. One moment, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, New York State Assembly candidate and my good friend. He's got nice hair too. Where is he? Kenneth P, everybody.
Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Kenneth P. I'm running for New York State Assembly, District 25 in Queens. Me and Yiatin, we share a big area, so that means if I get elected, myself and Yiatin work together. Just want to give you a quick background of who I am, where I'm coming from. I'm a retired sergeant from New York City Police Department. I retired last year. I want to tell you why. Put my life on the line to catch up all these bad people I'm talking. Gunpoint robberies, grand larceny photo, burglars. I catch them 3 hours later. I'm like, hi, Sarge, I'm back. Did you know that 111 prison is #1 in New York City in a burglar rate? Did you know that? Are you happy? Okay, then you guys know what to do on November 5. I am going to do everything to, me and Yiatin will work together hand to hand, side to side. We need to make these changes, a lot of changes. And this is 100% correctable problems. But again, in order to do that, I'm going to need your help. November 5, please be out there, vote. My name is Kenneth P. Yiatin Chu. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless America.
Thank you, sir. Kenneth P. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, candidate for New York Civil Court Judge. Please put your hands together for Maryann Maloney. Everybody gets a song.
Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Maryann Maloney, and I'm running for the Civil Court in the city of New York. The first thing people ask me is like, are you a Democrat? And I'm like, well, why would I be at a Republican event? I've been a Republican since I was 18 years old, now 54, and although as a judicial candidate you really can't state your position, but I have been a conservative Republican for quite many years. And I'm running for the civil court because I think I can do a great job. I've been an attorney for 27 years. I have supervised several administrative courts, and I know how to apply the law to the facts. I'm a fair-minded person, so I hope that on November the 5th, early voting begins, October 26th, that you will consider me for the position of civil court judge. Thank you so much.
All right, coming up next. Another candidate for Queens County Civil Court Judge. Please put your hands together for Stephen Datera.
Good evening. How's everyone doing? Good. Enjoying the food? Good. So I'm running for civil court judge, like Mary, so you can vote for both of us. Yeah. All right. So vote Republican. Queens. Anyone in Queens County. So if you have friends, please spread the word. As you know, Democrats outnumber Republicans at least 7 or 8 to 1. So we need you to spread the word, social media, to your friends, your family. We need you guys, all right? We're gonna win this. We're gonna win. Yes. I'm a St. John's Law School graduate. Good. Good. I've been an attorney for 19 years. So I'm looking forward to serving you guys in the community. So please come out to vote. Again, we need everybody to come out to vote. We've got dignitaries. Chris, you're here. We need your help too. So let's do this. Thank you.
Wait, gotta take a picture. Everybody's gotta take a picture. All right, very good. Thank you, Stephen. Coming up next, the chairman of the Queens County Conservative Party. Please put your hands together for Mr. Bob Chow.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bob Chow, Zhou Jingha. It's actually our honor to endorse Yiatin, because I remember right before the election, it all started. when Yiatin come into our office, and then, because usually we have to do a little interview. So I asked her, I said, you have very successful, business already. Okay, you don't have to do something like this. You don't have to, put yourself in the spot that actually a lot of, people will attack you. And guess what she told me? She told me she's not just for, she didn't do this just for her kids, but because she grew up, in this neighborhood. She cannot stand those crazy stuff coming up. Can you allow your kids, can you actually, feel sick enough to, let your kids to smell those marijuana? Can you afraid to let your kids go to Flushing by themselves? So, the chances they might get robbed. No, right? All the ladies, can you really feel uncomfortable to let your husband walk into a certain area that when those elect officials, you know what I'm trying to say, those elect officials, they will allow prostitution to be legalized. Can you believe it? This is what they're trying to do right now. And this is, New York State Conservative Party, we care about family, we care about education, we care about common sense. So that's why with the long talk, with Yiatin. And then I'm very proud to, announce that New York State Conservative Party Queens will officially endorse Yiatin Chu to run for our New York State Senate for this election. So if you feel sick and tired with all the situation right now in our community, you don't just go to vote yourself. You call your friends and family that whoever is actually qualified to vote, tell them, go to vote. Because I know a lot of Asians, we don't really try to get involved with politics. But now the problem is, the politics, they come to us. When they change the law, when those, catch and release law, I don't even want to call those law. Those are ridiculous stuff. When those things happens, even though you don't care about politics, you'll be damaged. So please, November 5th, you know what to do. Okay, Yiatin Chu, and also all the candidates that whoever is common sense, vote them. You don't just go, please, when you go to vote, you don't want to just go, okay, I'm looking for Yiatin Chu, click, and that's it. No, please. We need more elect official in common sense. So from the top, all the way down to the bottom. Because this is what those crazy people does. Okay, this is what those crazy people, crazy Democrats say, right? This is what happened with them. They know how to play the game, so this is all they do. And if we only go for one, we lose another 10, 15. And this year we have a lot of, candidate. So please do our part. So we could make sure all the candidates in our side, they could do their job for us. Please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pictures. Thank you, Bob. All right, very good. All right, moving right along, I'd like to introduce Hong Yao from the Small Landlord Association, and I'm going to have Phil Wong take over and properly introduce him.
请洪耀先生代表小房东为我们说几句话。洪先生。
Hi, good evening, everybody. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to have this chance to introduce myself. So my name is Hong Chen, a small landlord from Queens. we're all here today because we supporting common sense. So, and Yiatin has been fighting for better education, better neighborhood for many years. That's why we're all here today and support her as the next senator in District 11. So I want to share the quick story about small nanos. So as all we know, not just in Queens County, but in all New York City, the housing court just doing a ridiculous job right now. All the tenants and landlords cases, it will take 2 or 3 years to have a conclusion. This is we are talking about civil case, not criminal case. It shouldn't be 2 or 3 years. So because that kind of problem, we met so many senators, assemblymen, and also congresswomen. But for most of them, they just sounds like, okay, I understand your situation, your problem, but it's nothing we can do. But Stavisky, she is the worst one. When we meet her, she constantly check her watch and then constantly start our conversation and push us to go out of her office. She doesn't care. She has no patience, no sympathy on our story, on our concerns. So it's time for Yiatin to kick out her. This squeaky old machine. It's time to kick out the squeaky old machine out of the chair. It's time for our common sense go to the office, taking care of the problem in our society and community. I wish one day Yiatin can be our microphone to deliver the right message to the government, to the society. Because as a small landlord, we are hardworking. We pay our property tax. We do another contribution to this society. We deserve better law, a better treatment from our society. And I wish one day she will be the one. Thank you.
Thank you, Hong Yao. And if everybody's looking for a one-bedroom apartment, see Hong after the show. All right, coming up next, very flowy tonight. We're looking for Albert Suhu, Community Education Council President 26.
Good evening, everyone. I'm not running for office, and I don't have a landlord. We're not. Okay, so I'm the president of CEC 26, which is the school board that covers half the schools in Stavisky's district. What's interesting is that I have never seen her in any of our meetings. It tells you how much she cares about education. How I got to know Yiatin is that 4 years ago I got elected to the CEC and I found out that she is a strong advocate for education in our communities. Since then, I found that she also supports many of the issues that are important to the Asian community, such as public safety and landlord rights, and many others. So, I got involved in the CEC 4 years ago because of the climate of anti-Asian hate that was going on at that time. And what's so sad is I found out that it's occurring right now, and it's coming from the Stavisky campaign. She is spreading dirt against our good friend here, Yiatin, and we have to put a stop to this. How do we put a stop to this? We have to go out to our neighbors, our friends, our relatives in Senate District 11 and elsewhere, and get them to contribute to her campaign. If you're a resident, please contribute between $5 to $250 because that will get matched by New York State. And on November 5th, please go out and vote for her. And also, as you're canvassing and talking to your friends, please ask them to also vote for Ken Peck if you live in his district. Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
Okay. Thank you. All right, the lesson here is in a small restaurant, you have too many people walking in last minute, there's a lot of chaos we have to handle. There's all the commotion you've been seeing, but nothing compares to the commotion that's happening in Manhattan right now, and we're so glad that we're here and not in Manhattan. Yes. Okay, our next speaker is one of the founders of the New York City Residents Alliance, one of the members of the host committee. Please give a big welcome, and he ran for city council. Dong Hui Zhang, right? Now, we have two sides, right? So you gotta turn your head,
Thank you everyone for coming here to support Yiatin Chu for State Senate 11. Yiatin will win. Yiatin will win big. And with Yiatin's win, so Yiatin is not only to bring one common sense vote on State Senate, but Yiatin is going to impact the whole Albany to correct the non-common sense policy and restore to common sense. That's why we come here to support Yiatin Chu. Yiatin is a fighter. For the last 6 years, I have never seen one person like Yiatin who has been fighting for the public safety, for the meritocracy, for SHAT, and to support police. So for the test, I have never seen anyone like Yiatin who have been fighting so hard, so effectively, and so elegantly. So we have to support Yiatin Chu. Yeah. Well, I mean, I fully support Toby's. I fully respect Toby. I fully respect her, and I thank her for many things. But Yiatin is the best. And we don't have a second Yiatin in this room, in the whole city, and in the whole state. So Yiatin has to win. Okay. Yiatin. And also tonight, I represent for New York City Residents Alliance, and there are so many parents like Yiatin who have been with us for so many years. Yiatin have been with us since 2018, right? 19. So we just had an internal vote. So tonight, New York City Residents Alliance is officially endorsing Yiatin Chu for State Senate 11. So please, I'm not going to interrupt the program. So, but after all the program, after Yiatin speaks, so let's have a photo with the New York City Residents Alliance banner. Okay, thank you. Thanks. Okay. After your program. Yeah. But tonight, I also want to say one thing. So there are so many, VIP speakers here. I thank you for all. But today, especially, I want to thank for State Senator Jack Martin, because he was the only one. He was the only non-Asian legislator, so who request New York Post to apologize for the mistake that they mistakenly said, the Trump assassinator was a Chinese man. So we want to thank Senator Martin for that. Yeah, of course, Senator Chang and many other legislative initiatives that we thank for him, but we have been together all the time. But I'm surprised and I'm so grateful that Senator, Martin, you are the only non-Asian legislator. Thank you. Well, discrimination is one of the most important things that Yiatin has been fighting for. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dong Hui. Photo. Yeah. Little bit of history. We all started around 2014 when de Blasio wants to cancel the special high school entrance exam. So all these parents got together. We fought from the City Hall to Albany, to hearing rooms in the State Senate, State Assembly, de Blasio's house, you name it, we were there. So Yiatin was there with Dongwei all the way, along with some other parents, which you will hear very soon. Keep the test, thank you. The first person that contributed significantly to the specialized high school lawsuit and the Harvard lawsuit and many others is a Brooklyn parent who fought with Yiatin since day one, Yi Fang. Yi Fang Chen, are you here? Yes. Okay, say hello. Say a few words.
Thank you, Phil. My name is Yiatin Chu, and I'm a parent from Brooklyn. I'm here with my fellow Brooklyn parents on that table. So I can't even recall when I first met Yiatin, but according to her, it was sometime in 2019 when I was tabling for voter registration and promoting the Keep Station event at an event in Chinatown. This morning, Yiatin said to me, "I don't think you really cared for me back then. Probably just saw me as a boba Asian." Well, let me tell you, maybe I did back then, but look at us now. We've become the best friends and best colleagues. Together, we've testified countless times in support of keeping the association, spoken out at CEC meetings. Oftentimes, it was just Yiatin and me, but two of us fighting the whole CEC. And we represented our school at SLT meetings. So for those of you who don't know, Yiatin's daughter and my son, they both go to Matwin, the GNP school in Coney Island. Yes, Matwin. I've also become an early member of PLACE NYC and AVA, the first Asian American non-partisan political club, both of which Yiatin co-founded. Yiatin, you are someone who truly gets things done. If I lived in your district, I'd be lucky to have you as my senator. Yeah, my district is Senator Bernardi's. We've never seen him in the district. Yeah. You represent all the values I hold dear. We believe in meritocracy. We stand for the property rights of small homeowners. We support law and order, and above all, we believe in common sense. It's time for a change. Let's send Yiatin to the Senate on November 5th and bring real change to the 11th district. Go, Yiatin!
Also, with Yi Fang, coming all the way from Brooklyn, I invited him to speak, but he does not want to speak. Is one of the earliest parents who stepped up, who's been instrumental in this fight to saving and keeping the SHSAT. Ling Fei, want to say hello? Just say hello. Just say hello. Ling Fei's right here. Thank you, Ling Fei. Thank you, Ling Fei. All right. The next parent is what is also fought with Yiatin is. Okay, thank you, Ling Fei. Is Miao Na? Is Miao Na here? Please say hello. Say, the all parental grassroots movement.
Even I had the proof. I know her from 2019. I have a picture. My name is Milna Chan, and I come from Brooklyn too. My two sons with Yiatin daughter and Yifen, kids, also went to Matwin. So I am the public school mom and the educator for the city public school. I know Yiatin, just like a picture showing, is 2019, sometime around May. So at that time, I asked her, it's like a fence to go to like a movie star. Can we take a picture together? So that's why I had a picture. because like she is like a role model for me. She's after I know her, she made me to step up and speak out for our children. I put myself into Stuyvesant and Brooklyn Tech SLT. So I had the table over there for Stuyvesant parents and Brooklyn Tech parents. We are here to support her. I would love to say thank you to Yiatin because you fight for to keep the SAT. So more children had the chance to take the exam to get into those schools. She support good quality education and equal right for all people. Congratulations to Yiatin to be the new state senator and keep fighting for our kids and everyone. Thank you.
We bumped into a parent that was with us during the City Hall fight. And I forgot to mention, the parents in this room, a lot of parents in this room also fought against Harvard University in the infamous affirmative action lawsuit. So we were in Washington, D.C. 2 years ago. And unfortunately, the justices ruled favorably. Harvard did discriminate Asians. Right, and the effects of that lawsuit, the landmark case, remains to be seen because it happened around a year ago, and then now we're very closely monitoring the colleges to make sure they no longer discriminate Asians. That's important, right? Or grassroots movements can lead to huge changes, and then we never expected that we met in the United States Supreme Court 2 years ago. Okay, the next person I need to recognize, he did not want to speak, so please have a big welcome. First, he is the first Chinese American commanding officer of the Chinatown 5th Precinct, and then later the highest ranking officer, Chinese American officer of NYPD, the retired 3-star chief, Mr. Thomas Chan. Please stand and say hello over there. Yes.
We have 5 years of no bail laws. 5 years. Okay, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24. 5 years. Until we get the Republicans in there and vote and change the law, nothing will happen. So all of us, all of us have to vote Republican because the Democrats have the majority. So please make sure you vote Republican right down the line and get some of them out there so that we can change the no bail laws. Otherwise, up in Albany, they make the laws, we have to follow them in New York City. Please support Yiatin, Kenny, and Lester, and all the people who are Republicans who are fighting so hard, because it's a tough battle. Thank you.
And the chief will come out, have a photo with Yiatin, and we'll continue our program. Photographers? Photographers? Yes. Vito? Vito? Hey. Mr. Henry Lin? Mr. Henry Lin, are you here? Henry? Okay, yeah. Okay. We have 3 very distinguished civic leaders that come all the way from Brooklyn's Chinatown. Okay, they will be introduced by Mr. Henry Lin, another parent that has been joining us for this battle to save a merits-based system of our schools. So Henry Lin will take over, and let's give him a big welcome. Henry.
我讲中文就好了哈。因为我就等于是社区的业余的义工，就是
就是我们从就是经常上报纸上面从了解到，就是朱雅婷一直在为我们华人做很多的贡献，比如说特殊高中比如免保涉华，还有就是为我们小房东的付出，我们都看在眼里。所以说我们觉得他一直在为我们付出，我们华人也要站出来为他做点事情，是吧？我们来到美国的话，我们就要把这里当做我们的家，我们每个人就要有这个义务和权利出来，叫大家出来投票，这个是最重要的事情。希望我的朋友们，大家就是能够一起来支持，朱雅婷在11区来选这个州参议员，还有就是大家就是都知道现在的法拉盛到处治安各方面免保涉华，他的对手我们也知道，就是他一直以来都是现在越来越偏左。如果的话没有一个人出来跟他选的话，这个纽约的话会越来越偏左，罪犯会越来越多，小房东的权益也不会受到保护，还有就是治安会越来越差。我们就是看到眼前这种，我们要呼吁大家出来选朱雅婷，选共和党的候选人。谢谢大家。现在叫那个纽约华人联合会的会长黄启旺先生出来讲几句。
各位朋友，大家晚上好。我是华人联合会韦光，我是来自 Brooklyn。虽然我不是这个选区的，但是我认识雅婷，她是一个非常有资格参选这个位置的人，所以呢，我希望大家大力支持雅婷，希望她高票当选。谢谢。
现在就是在请就是纽约洗衣店协会会长江旭会长出来讲几句。对，要讲的，来，你代表你要叫你的会员，对，你要叫你的会员出来投票。对啊，找个刀，这个很有代表性的，要出来的。没有，他要讲的。
Hello everyone, my name is Xiu Jiang. I'm the president of New York Laundromat Business Association. I don't live in 11th district, but I just received a flyer from in Long Island. I will vote for Jack Martin. We are one family here today. Like many of us, my members and I starting to hear about Yiatin Chu in the movement of keeping SAT tests. Today, 6 years later, we are still fighting for it, and Yiatin is running for U.S. Senator. And New York State, it has been proven that she does not give up. She continues to fight for the education, the safety, and bring back the good New York State we used to know. We need Yiatin's voice in Albany. We need more Republican voice in the country. I'm here today to support, along with the support from local laundromat business owners. We count on you, Yiatin Chu. And remember, everyone to come out to vote on November 5th on Tuesday, 2024. Thank you.
现在请我们林氏中心的会长林志辉会长出来讲几句。
Let's welcome Mr. C. Fei Lin, the president of New York Lin's Association. Lin's, we have so many Lins here. Lin 会长。
Hello， 大家晚上好。今天非常高兴来参加那个雅婷女士的竞选那个州参议员。我预祝她当选。我呢会动员我们林市的中心的11月5号来支持她。我感觉就是说我们应该华人应该都要团结起来，因为我们投票很关键，我们每个人手上都有一个神圣的一票，大家如果都出来选的话，我相信肯定会赢。OK， 预祝他当选，谢谢大家。
Yeah, we have many organizations established to fight all these battles, from saving gifted and talented programs, SHSAT, Harvard lawsuit, Fire Carranza, you name it, we were there, right? So one of the most important groups we formed was Queens Parents United, and I'm so glad that the founder is here, Jean Han. Jean.
I'm also a fellow board member of Place NYC. I met Yiatin in 2019. I got a call out of the blue and said, "Hi, I'm Yiatin. I was told to call you." So I wasn't in the fight yet over Shasat. I was in the fight for saving gifted and talented and fire Kurfan. So it was a pleasure to meet Yiatin. We've become really good friends since then. Somebody I really admire, and she's a fighter. She does not back down. She can get mud slung at her and she will wipe it off and just get back up. So I'm proud to know Yiatin. She's a rock star. Vote for her. Vote for everybody, anybody. That if you feel like there's anything going wrong in your life right now, with your quality of life, think about the people in charge. The person that's been in power for the past 25 years has not done anything for our community. Vote for change. Thank you.
All right. So far, so good? Yeah. What about you? Good? You can take your coat off. Yes. Okay. All right, so before I bring up the guest of honor, just a few things I'd like to say. Every 4 years, we have a major election. Every 2 years, halfway in between, we have a smaller election. It's always traditionally been Republicans versus Democrats, right? Nowadays, it's no longer Republican versus Democrat. The Democratic Party has become the Democratic Socialists of America. And I know that there's plenty of people in this room who once lived under that kind of regime and fled that way of life. And you deserve the change that you worked so hard for here in America. And Yiatin, along with all of our other candidates in this room tonight, need your help, need your support, need your donations, and need your vote so they can deliver that change to you. So again, it's no longer right versus left. It's freedom versus tyranny, right? So let's vote for freedom on November 5th. Okay? Okay. Yiatin Chu knows what matters to New Yorkers. Safe, clean, and affordable cities. High quality education and safe schools for our children. And upholding quality of life in our neighborhoods, which isn't overrun by special interest groups. After seeing alarming, divisive changes to policies over the past decade, Yiatin made the decision to step away from a successful career in healthcare and media to become an outspoken advocate for common sense policies, including supporting law and order, merit-based education, property owner rights, and upholding quality of life. Yiatin is running for New York State Senate District 11 because progressive policies like bail reform and immigration are working against our local communities and quality of life. New York needs effective policies that don't come at the expense of safe and clean neighborhoods. We deserve better. It's time for change. Let me hear you say it. It's time for change. It's time for change. It's time for change. Let me hear you. It's time for change. And she's going to give it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and put your hands together for our next New York State Senator representing District 11, Yiatin Chu. Let's give it up, Yiatin Chu, everybody!
Thank you. James, no, I'm an 80s girl, and like many of you, my parents urged us to be good students so that the opportunities here would open for us. Living frugal lives, my parents saved enough for a humble home in Whitestone in 1979. I went to junior high school there, and then to the Bronx High School of Science. I got my BA from SUNY Binghamton, when it was called SUNY Binghamton, and received a full tuition scholarship to Boston University to get my MBA. I then worked in healthcare marketing for over 20 years. I was very lucky. I worked really hard, and I met the right people, and I had a very successful and rewarding career. My values, often referred to as immigrant values, are American values because all of us, whether first generation or fourth generation, came to this country for opportunities and a better life. We believe that if you do the right things, work hard, follow the law, look out for your neighbors, we can achieve a good life. Everyone in this room has done that. But lately, we feel what we've worked so hard for and what we've built are at risk. We feel uneasy, unsafe, unsure about what the city has become and what our electeds are doing for us instead of to us. We were actually doing pretty well up until 2018. Crime was at an all-time low, and the city was in pretty good shape. But the blue wave of 2018 ended a balanced state legislature. The blue wave brought the progressive Democrats on a mission to change New York. They passed bail reform, where the list of unqualified offenses were long and dangerous. They tell us crime is down, but all of us feel gaslighted because we don't feel safe. Compared to 5 years ago, pre-bail reform, the major 7 crimes are up 34% citywide, and far worse here in Northeast Queens, up 60%. For the 111th precinct, where we are part of now, shoplifting is up 120%. Robberies up 150%. And car theft, if you have a BMW, you're probably part of the 700%. The incumbent, Toby-Ann Stavisky, was a co-sponsor of bail reform. As a 25-year term senator, you would think she had the seniority to get things done for us, but she hasn't. She has gone along with the progressive left and done nothing to fix the dangerous bail reform. Bail reform is a disaster, and it's my top priority to fix it when I get to Albany. The migrant crisis has brought us over 200,000 migrants to New York City, with 70,000 persistently rotating through our system of shelters and social services. The city, aka us, the taxpayers, have spent over $5 billion so far. Albany passed another $2.4 billion this past session for migrant services. This is not sustainable. What's worse, the crime that migrants have brought to our community, and even assaulting our police officers. It feels like every week we are hearing about crimes committed by migrants against other migrants and against our residents. We need to end sanctuary city and state, and I wholeheartedly support Lakin's law, sponsored by Republican leader Senator Orr, to permit our law enforcement to work with ICE and those who commit crimes. Like some of you, I am a small property owner. The past 5 years have been very hard on us. The cancel rent movement brought in the eviction moratorium. Tenants who couldn't or wouldn't pay rent left small property owners in deep financial and emotional distress. While our state relieved tenants, we were still subjected to mortgage payments, property taxes, maintenance, and upkeep. Even when EROP was lifted, the courts were so backed up that cases wouldn't be heard for years. Bad tenants are stealing from us tens of thousands of dollars of income that we're owed and never get recaptured. The best scenario we hope for is to actually get to evict them. We fought good cause, but it ended up passing anyway. Our private market rate rentals are now subjected to government rental caps. It feels like small property landlords have been on the receiving end of bad laws, and that's been unfair to us. We are the ones that are providing affordable housing. Most of us really don't raise rent much. We like a good tenant, we like to keep them there. If elected to Albany, you can count on me to listen to you and to make changes so that the laws that govern tenants and landlords are fair for both. I am here with parents, all of you, vested in the future of our children and of our city, our state, and our country. We fight for high-quality education because it is the road to social mobility, a better life. We need to ensure that we uphold high standards, accountability, and free from discrimination. I've been particularly interested in this state Senate seat because so many of what they do affect us here in New York, and specifically state Senate, state legislation are responsible for education policies, from funding to curriculum to standards to preserving the heck calandra for the SHSAT. State Senate seat District 11 is a winnable seat. Stefano Forte ran 2 years ago and got 43%. Lee Zeldin, who you just heard from, got 45%. The most encouraging is my councilwoman, Vicky Palladino, who won in November, winning 60%.
Whoa!
We are in an election year, so the destiny of my race is in who turns out. Thanks to all of you, the political media has taken notice of our grassroots campaign. I outraised Senator Stavisky in public matching funds, powered by individuals in this district who can vote for me. With 43 days to go, every day counts. The 58-year Stavisky dynasty will use every advantage that they have against us. Our most powerful weapon is to talk directly with voters. It's a ground game, and every door and every conversation counts. Let's do this. Let's do this for our families, our neighbors, our communities, and for the greatest city in the world. Let's flip this seat. Thank you for being here and for your commitment to bring home victory for us in District 11. Thank you very So to close off the evening, yes, the real star of the show. I can't go anywhere without being stopped for pictures with him. People want pictures. It's my great honor to have spent actually quite a lot of time with the founder of the Guardian Angels, someone that I looked up to ever since I took the subways in the 1980s to Bronx Science. Never thought I would actually be in the same room with him, or even sit down to look at maps and prioritize where I should be, doing my walk list. It's really my honor to introduce Mr. Curtis Sliwa.
Thank you. Let's first acknowledge the Flushing Guardian Angels who are here with us tonight. We came about to protect Asian Americans who are under vicious attack during the lockdown and pandemic. And as you remember, no politicians did anything. None of them.
Sit down.
But the Guardian Angels did. They stepped up and they protected the Asian Americans who were being viciously attacked. And they deserve our appreciation for their continued presence in the streets. And as you can see, we are a group that has blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians. We're a representation of New York City. So let's give them a great round of applause. Now, there are many candidates who would like me to be endorsing them and working for them for their election or re-election. And I categorize them because in addition to me being out in the streets, that's where I do best, I can talk about them on WABC radio, the most powerful radio station in the nation. But there are some candidates who are slackers and deadbeats and lazy. And they're not out in the streets. They're not going to win. They're just candidates in name only. So Curtis Sliwa is not going to be side by side with anybody who's a half-stepper, who's not going the whole 9 yards. It is a privilege to run for office. It is a sacred responsibility in promoting the democracy that exists in this country. And when you run for office, you got to put everything in it. And that's what Yiatin Chu does each and every day. Every ounce of her energy. And it is extraordinarily important when we talk about immigrants, because we represent the party of legal immigration. Legal immigration. The Democratic Party wants to cheat and let people come in who didn't have to wait and be qualified and be vetted and then take a test eventually to qualify as a citizen of the United States. I'll tell you straight up, I've given the test, the citizenship test, over the airwaves of WABC, and most of my callers, born and raised here, not immigrants, failed that test. I have 3 sons who go to public schools here in Queens who would fail that test, but they don't teach history or civics or government in our schools any longer. Not in the private schools, charter schools, not in the public schools, not in the religious schools. But when you take that test to become a citizen, you're putting everything on the line for love of America that you dreamed about in your country of origin. And especially in the Asian community amongst Chinese and Koreans. You invested a lot of time and energy. And most importantly, you really did it not necessarily for yourself, but for your children and children's children. And this is part of the immigration story of America. First, it was the Irish who came to New York. And then eventually, working hard, they became the elected officials. Then it was Jews who were escaping Europe, came to New York, and they elevated themselves and they were elected to political positions. And then the Italians. And now it's the African Americans. Next, it'll be the Latinos and Latinas. And then you, the Asians, the minority, will become the majority, and you will be in elected office because you will have earned that right by the way you raise your children, by the way you promote education, patriotism, law and order, respect of family, and respect of elders. And that's everything that the Republican Party represents. The Democrats have lost their way. Many of us were originally Democrats. I was a Democrat. My first vote was for George McGovern. Some of you weren't even born yet. 1972 against Richard Nixon. I came from a household of blue-collar, working-class Democrats where they were taught the Republican Party is the party of the rich and the privileged, and the Democrats is the party of the working class and the poor and impoverished. That is no longer the case. That is no longer the case. The moment Donald Trump arrived on the scene, that changed it completely. Now you see the money people, the power, the elite, they support the Democrats, and there are more working class people supporting the Republicans than ever before. And that is the change that we are seeing all over this country. But if you're going to win this election, you got to win it in the district. And each district is unique. So let's use Lester Chang as an example. Lester doesn't like to tell this story, but I tell this story. Manhattan GOP turned their back on this man. Our own people turned their back on the first Chinese assemblyman because he wanted to run in Manhattan, and they did nothing for him. They did bupkis for him. So he had to go back to his roots by Midwood High School, where his mother was living, and run in Brooklyn. And the Brooklyn GOP embraced him. Now, he was going to get the Asian vote. That's the way it is. Asians seeing Asians, vote for an Asian. But the route to victory was through the Italian-American community. The guy that he beat was an Italian-American who was almost as old as Toby Ann Stavitsky. So he needed help, because Italian-Americans, why should I support a Chinese guy? They're always coming to my door, knocking on my door saying, hey, can I buy your house? We don't need to go to a bank. I got cash right here. What do I need to vote for? Chinese are going to take over the neighborhood. So we sat down and we came up with a plan. And you know what the plan was? Lester spent most of his time in the Italian-American community, knocking on doors, introducing himself, because the assemblyman there hadn't done that in a long time. And that's how you ended up with the first Chinese-American assemblyman, Republican, in Albany. You got another young man here, Kenneth P, Korean-American, running for assembly. He's got a situation in which we know he's going to get the Asian vote, but the other large group there are Jewish Americans. And they have a Jewish American who is the Assemblywoman Rosick, who actually was born in Israel. That's a tough one. But guess what? Kenneth Peck understands his route to victory is in the Jewish American community. I was with him last week with the Bulgarian community. These are immigrants from Central Asia, from Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan. And they have become Republicans. And they're not looking, well, Rozak is a Jewish woman, so I got to support a Jew. No, they're looking at a man here who served in the United States Navy, served in the NYPD, and is a patriot. The Democrats don't have that. They don't have it. But the toughest job of all is what Yiatin Chu has. Because she's up against a family. It's like running against an organized crime family. You had Mr. Stavitsky, who was there for years. His wife, Tobianne, was in the city council first, then the state senate, and a son who was elected. So it's like an organized crime family she's up against. They've been there for decades, and they run the biggest lobbying group in all of Albany that everybody goes to, including some of our fellow fair weather Republicans, Jack, right? Okay. So this is a battle for every vote. And I sat down with Yiatin Chu at her new headquarters that she shares with Kenneth Peck. And we went through the maps, and we looked at the light blue districts, and we looked at the dark blue districts. And I said to Yiatin, don't knock yourself out in the dark blue districts. It ain't going to happen. You're a Republican. There's no way you get over it. The moment is, are you voting for Trump? And she says, yes, it's over. They slam the door in your face. It's over. But in the light blue districts, you're going to have Jewish Americans who are going to listen. They see what's happening in Israel now. They see the Democratic Party has turned on them. They see that the Democrats are the party of the anti-Semites who sing from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Where does that leave the Jews? They push them right into the sea. There are enough Jewish Americans who understand that they don't mind crossing the party lines to vote for a Republican who has family values like they do, who believes in education like they do, who respect grandparents like they do. They don't understand they have more in common with you as Republicans than they do with the socialists in their party. And I'll finish on this note. My youngest son goes to Russell Sage Junior High School. You know what that is, Russell Sage? Yellowstone Boulevard or Queens Boulevard. His name is Hunter. I have two sons with the Queens DA, Melinda Katz, and she's no Republican. She's a Democrat. And they were raised in a mostly Democratic household. They know their father ran for mayor, but you don't think they supported me for mayor. They supported Eric Adams. They were in a Democratic household. But when I went to see him on Sunday, he was playing soccer with his friends. A lot of different kind of kids. White kids, black kids, Asian kids, East Indian kids, all different kind of kids. And then afterwards, he had to go to synagogue to prepare for saying prayers with Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur coming up, the highest Jewish high holidays. So I got a chance to sit with a lot of the Jewish parents who were waiting for their kids. And they said, "Oh, Curtis, you running for mayor again?" "Yeah." "You supporting Trump?" "Yeah." "You know you don't have any chance of winning." I said, "Let's stop right there. You happy with what's happening with Democrats in our city, in our state, in our country? Really? You are here with your children. You realize what you have in common with a lot of Republicans, but you don't want to admit it because you don't want to cross that Maginot Line. Do you as Jewish people believe in the power of education?" "Yes." "Do you believe in respect for parents?" "Yes." "Do you respect the boobies and zetas and the grandparents?" "Yes." Well, guess what? You could easily be Republicans because your party, which was the party of your birth, does not respect that any longer. So why not be a free agent? Why not look at the candidate and see if the candidate, regardless of party affiliation, reflects your values, the way you live, the way you want to raise your children and great-grandchildren. My son Hunter was doing pretty good in public school. He has 144, pretty good. And then he went to Russell Sage and he's in a class with all Asian kids. And all of a sudden he realized, wow, I can't be a slacker. I can't get 85 or 80. I got to be up in the 90s or they're going to drop me in the grade level. And what's happened at the Department of Education that Banks and Adams and everyone else won't admit, that with so many Asian kids coming into the system, it's raised the grade score for all the kids in the school. It's made the public schools better. It's made many of the public schools a place that you want to send your children. Why won't they tell that story? I want to tell that story because they didn't tell that story when the Jews were being oppressed upon when I went to school in the 60s. The same thing. Jews were being assaulted. Jews were doing well in school. They wanted to cap Jewish people. They wanted to do the same in colleges. Exactly everything that's happening to Asians now was happening to Jewish people. And I connect the dots to them. And then all of a sudden you see the light bulbs going off. They have more in common with you than with their own Democrats. Their own Democrats, many of them socialists who don't want meritocracy. They want everybody to be the same. They want to take your private homes. They want to take your two-family homes, your American dream. They want to bulldoze it. They want to put up big buildings. The city of yes. Everything they do is against every reason that you put together your family, you came to America and you wanted to live the American dream. So let's get out there for Yiatin Chu. Let's explain to the majority who are the Democrats in the district that you have more in common with the Republicans, and especially a mother of children who has led the fight in education, public education, for meritocracy, to improve everyone's ability to get a great education in America. That's why we got to fight to make sure that Yiatin Chu becomes the next state senator, because we can also break this majority that they have, the veto-proof majority. It's only going to take one more, right, Jack? And that one more could be Yiatin Chu. So let's get out there, folks. For New York City, for your Asian American community, for America, and for your children and great-grandchildren who will be the future leaders in New York City. It'll be their time. Let Yiatin and other Asian Americans pave the way for them, like so many other immigrant groups. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Take care. Good night,
And hey, listen, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, while we are in this room tonight to support down ballot candidates, we can't forget about the guy at the top. Don't forget about the guy at the top. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, look at my hat. Thank you, everybody. God bless. Big round of applause for all of our candidates tonight, especially Yiatin Chu. Yiatin, why don't you tell everybody where your office locations are and where they can find you on social media?
All right. I do have a website. It's yiatinforny.com. I'm quite active on social media. I've been active on what used to be called Twitter under my personal account, where I have lots of opinions and I express it. I also have a campaign account on X, which is Yiatin for NY. And I'm also on Facebook, so I do post things every day. Every day, and I do my own social. It's my opinion, and I don't trust anyone else to say it. So please enjoy the rest of the food. I'll be coming around. This is the end of our speaking program. I know it's been long, but I'm just very, very lucky to know so many great people who work in the community, who I've worked with for the last 5 years. So have a good evening, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, Yiatin.
Yiatin! 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 Keep the test! 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 Keep the test!